Hello and welcome to Super OK, where we try to do a decent enough job to entertain people with our opinions on video games. As always, my name is Dale and I'm joined here by only one human, but man, what a human. Mel, how are you today?
I'm doing super great. How are you?
Oh, I'm merely super okay.
Oh.
Do you see what I did there?
Yeah, I like it. Super okay.
That's the name of the show that we're doing. You guys can't see it because it's an audio podcast, but Mel did the shape of an L next to chin. I don't know what this is called, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like one of those anime poses that are just like, huh.
It's like handgun next to chin, like
next to chin.
JoJo pose, kind of almost. Now I'm just JoJo posing, and nobody can see it, and I'm
finger guns everywhere.
I think it's important to know I'm doing a bad job.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was pretty bad. This is not a JoJo pose.
That definitely is not.
This just looks like an angry chimp.
I feel like you're doing it on purpose, though.
I wasn't. Anyway, every episode we start with a highlight of the week where we talk about something that makes our week a little bit better, a little bit brighter, a little bit nicer to live in the world that we live in. Mel, please go first with your highlight of the week.
Of course. I would love to talk to you guys about where I have been mentally. I feel like the past few months, my head was kind of like in a cloud. I felt like I really couldn't focus on like the day-to-day like tasks that I had to do. I felt incoherent and it just felt weird. And so I went to the doctors and the doctor's like, yep, you have ADD. So I had to go through all of like the different like questionnaires and like different tests. And he like asked me about, how I was feeling for like 3 weeks. And he's like, I'm going to put you on some like ADD, ADHD medication. And he's going to go, and he was like, I'm going to go super low dose because I know that like people get addicted to this type of stuff like pretty easily. So I'm on like this crazy like micro dose of meds.
I thought you were going to say LSD.
LSD?
You microdosing? Cool.
I'm microdosing, yeah. It's like MDMA, totally.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like I feel so much better because of it. Like I can't tell you how clear my brain feels and how like articulate I feel now because I'm able to like actually use my whole brain without my brain going, oh, like my brain felt so fragmented before. And now everything kind of seems like it's coming together. And I just feel so good. Like I can sleep at night, which is weird because my brain finally quieted down, which is weird to think about when you're on ADHD medication. To the point where like I felt good about what I was doing on a regular basis. Like I was getting stuff done and like I was actually completing tasks rather than being like, oh, I forgot about this thing. Oh, but now that I'm doing this, like I gotta go like change out a light bulb, stuff like that. And I just feel so much, I feel great. I feel really great.
I am so glad to hear this. When I was a kid, I was diagnosed with ADD and the medication that they gave me turned me into a zombie. I was not Dale anymore. I was just like walking through life. I couldn't remember anything like any of that. And so I've been like just dealing with ADD my entire life unmedicated because it was a choice of like, don't be Dale or be Dale, but be a little frazzled every now and then, And so I've chosen the second one. I'm glad you no longer have to choose. I think that is totally awesome.
Yeah. And I think that like you're right. Like for a very long time, I felt like I shouldn't get medicated because of that exact issue. Like when I was taking antidepressants, I was like, I don't like this because it makes me feel not like me. But this medication is just like, I think it's better than my antidepressants I was taking before because it's like I still feel like myself, but a clearer version of myself.
That's awesome. That is totally awesome. It's like when you're in the shower and you're looking through the glass and then you wipe away the fog.
Yeah, and you see yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, I know that guy.
That's awesome. That's great. I love it.
And also, since our last episode, when we had coffee syrup for the first time, I am freaking addicted to that stuff. That stuff is so good on top of ice cream. Like, I have been having that almost every single day since our last recording.
That's awesome. I have not yet tried my thing that I want to do where I make a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch and add it to the milk, but I bet it's going to be so good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm thinking about making coffee syrup milkshakes today.
Oh,
right? Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yes, it sounds so good. Thank you immensely to I think it was Pat who told us in the Discord.
Yeah. Thank you,
about
Pat.
coffee syrup because it's real good.
Best thing I've ever came across. Wonderful.
So good. Speaking of ice cream, my highlight of the week is that Ange and I went on a date night and we went to this new place called Super Crisp.
Super Crisp. Okay.
It is like it's hard to describe. It's like a takeout like food diner kind of burger joint, but they have like katsu and they have like so last time I was there I had the katsu chicken and it was pretty good, but it wasn't like amazing.
Okay.
This time when I went I got their burger, but I got their umami fries which had like Kewpie
mayo on top,
mayo and nori and like this chili lime spice, and it was just like so good. Ange got these like spicy tofu bites that she really liked, and it was just like it was a real good time. It's a real good time. You are, I'm guessing, looking at the menu and holding your head.
Yeah, because everything on this menu sounds freaking amazing. Like they have a beverage called yuzu lychee lemonade, and that's like totally my jam. That sounds great.
That.
Was it
I
good?
had the lychee lemonade the last time I went, and the strawberry lemonade this time, and both of them were so good. They were so good.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. And it's like just outside of downtown. It's a real delight. If you want to go, we will 100% go because it was very good.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I recently, by the way, have found out that I have a very weird lactose intolerance where I, for some reason, can't eat regular ice cream or regular yogurt, but I'm fine with everything else. And apparently this is like, well, it's not common. It isn't like you're one in a million weirdo, you know?
Yeah.
And so I haven't really been able to indulge in ice cream as much as I would like to since it's gotten warm. But we went to this place near us called Cold Truth. And Cold Truth, every one of their flavors is they've got all vegan ice cream. It's all vegan. And I had a horchata flavored ice cream with like a caramel drizzle over top.
Extra yum.
It was so good. It was insanely good. And so like Ange and I just hung out. We made a good day of it. It was like a fun day. And so that was my favorite part of this week. It was just a really good day.
God, that's so cute. I love that.
Until
tell me more.
We asked a very special person whether or not they'd be willing to join the Super OK crew officially, right? You guys have heard us talk about Zando. He edits the pod. He's a great guy. He's all over the Discord. He's a Zangief man, which means that he's near and dear to my heart. But what he hasn't been is officially a member of Super OK. And Zando has decided to officially accept an invitation to join the Super OK crew, which means that you will likely hear him on a few more episodes than you have recently. He's going to be editing our podcast pretty much on a regular basis for us. He already has. This is just kind of like, you know, like a formal, like, hey, welcome to the crew, bud. I'm so happy you're here.
Right. Now he's going to be a prime stakeholder with us to help give us good direction and be just a wonderful human being with us.
You said prime stakeholder, and my mind immediately went to a cartoon drawing of Zando, for some reason in the style of Tiny Toons, where he is holding an uncooked steak.
Like a ribeye.
Yeah, exactly. Like a USDA prime steak. My brain is bad and broken.
Yeah.
But I'm just very excited for Zando to be joining the team.
Me too.
Officially.
Welcome, Zando. I'm so happy that you're with us.
Yeah. And we were like, we should get him on the podcast. And he was like, I have children and they've made me too tired. And so you've got just Mel and me. But that's okay because we're having a great time today. And speaking of great times, it's summer. And summer is a fun time.
Hell yeah.
It's filled with beach trips and ice cream cones and lounging in the sun. Or if you're a mutant like all of us, it's super okay. It's all about huddling up in a nice cold basement to move some pixels around on a screen while you avoid the sun.
Yep.
And since we know that if you're listening to this, you are likely in that latter group as well, we are going to kick the summer off by providing you all with our gaming updates. We will be sharing our current gaming experiences, reviewing some recently completed games within the past few months, and discussing what is coming up on our radar. I just feel like we haven't caught up with you guys in a minute, So sit back, grab your sunscreen, and get ready to join us in our summer gaming quest log.
Huzzah!
So let's start with an obvious question. What has been occupying your gaming time lately? What are some interesting or memorable moments that you've had recently? And what are some aspects of games that have stood out? Anything that has surprised or impressed you, that sort of thing.
Sure. We should go back and forth. I'll start with my my first game. And it's Darkest Dungeon, like the original Darkest Dungeon. That game I have been picking up and then putting down and then picking it back up again because I love like the gameplay mechanics of it all. I love how like this game can get so difficult to the point where like you can do everything right in your run and then during one particular battle like you'll miss all of your hits, but then the enemy will hit and crit all of them and the next thing you know one of your character dies.
Just like in real life.
Just like in real life. And that's what happened to me actually yesterday when I was playing. I was like going through and trying to like get to a boss level. And it was a group of spiders. I'm like week 36 into my game now. So like it's progressively getting harder. Like my characters are now level like 3 or level 4. Mm-hmm. And as I encountered this room of spiders, I was like, spiders, no problem. This will be easy. But those things fucking kicked my butt. Like I literally could not hit any of the spiders because they dodged out of the way from all of my hits. And then the next thing I know, they just targeted one of my characters and then instantly just murdered it. Just completely murdered it. But I love this game so much because it's just, it makes you think outside the box and makes you think like, how do I make the best situation out of a terrible situation? You know what I mean? Like it makes you want to like go, okay, maybe I have to train up my characters a little bit more so that way I can like go through these different battles, or like maybe I don't fight every single, go to every single room with a battle. Maybe I'll just kind of like skirt around certain things. And yeah, it's been really fun, but like also like just irritating because like everything is dying.
I mean, Darkest Dungeon is definitely a brutal game.
For sure.
So I totally get that. I totally understand. But man, getting killed by a room full of spiders.
Yeah, you wouldn't think.
A little bit.
Thanks, Dale. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, what about you?
So I have to actually, for the first time, I think in podcast history, I have to give an actual real disclaimer. So this one's real. This is not like a fake joke disclaimer. I was, in fact, sponsored by Marvel Snap on my stream. I am no longer sponsored by them, but I did receive money from Marvel Snap for playing Marvel Snap. So I have to let you guys know that. But I am no longer sponsored by them, and I'm still talking about Marvel Snap because it is very, very cool. What they have been doing recently, I've really been enjoying the meta. I will actually talk about it a little bit later. But it's just been a lot of fun for me to like sit down. I've got 5 minutes. I can play through a game in that time, like reliably, like 5 minutes, no problem. Game of Marvel Snap out of the way, easy, which is awesome. They've released some really cool characters, and just like they started doing this thing where every week they're updating just a few characters, just a little bit, like tweaking them.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, maybe we'll lower the energy cost by 1 on this character, or maybe we'll give them 1 more strength, or maybe we'll change this other number by 1. And they've made this ability inside the game where they can do that just over the air without having to do a game update.
Nice.
And so they still do monthly patches, which have like huge balance changes and
Sure.
like have all of the cards for the next month in them and all of that. But they've started doing weekly like little tweaks, and it has made the game so much more refreshing to play on a weekly basis that I'm surprised that more PvP games don't balance in this way.
Right.
Also, their communication has just been really, really good.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So are you following like pretty much like on a weekly basis going like, oh, what changed? Like, or does like the actual like app or like, Marvel Snap platform give you that information right when you load?
There's a little news tab in there, like a little newspaper. It looks like from the Daily Bugle or whatever.
Sure.
And then when they release an update, there's just a little one there and you tap it and it's like, these characters changed. Here's why.
Nice.
It's very cool.
Yeah. I also like the fact that you can get like the variants of the cards too, as like, so you can show off all like your different, cosmetic items, which I think is like very clever. Yeah. Very, very clever.
It is funny because there's like a million different variant types. And one of them is pixels, where it's all of the characters are pixel art. Mm-hmm. And what Clay actually figured out is that if the character has a face, their pixel art variant is going to look terrible. And yesterday I did a stream where I opened like 10,000 credits. I maxed out my credits. It's the most you can have in the game. Yeah. And I opened all of the caches on stream and I legitimately got 8 different pixel variants.
Whoa.
And some of them look absolutely hideous. They're just the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. The Uatu one, like the Watcher Uatu, he's normally a weird looking guy, right? Big head, like
all body.
But the pixel version of him straight up looks like in Total Recall, where the face comes out of the stomach of the guy and he's like, Quaid, start the reactor.
Oh like, my God.
I think his name is God, what is his name in that? It's not Uatu, but it's something like that. Anyway, it looks exactly like that face, like just malformed, malshapen, like
wild,
like just absolutely hideous. I legitimately feel bad for the artist who had to do these, because there's no way that he's looking at these and went like, nailed it every time,
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, rough times, real rough times. What about you? What else you been playing?
Yeah, so the other game I've been playing is Josh bought me Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda, probably last week Sunday. Okay. And I've been kind of like playing that at night, just kind of going through, exploring. I'm kind of playing it like Brody would play it and just taking my time, where like I'm just walking places. Like I'm not even taking a horse, because I feel like riding a horse, I'm like missing out on like the small details.
And
like,
plus horses suck.
Plus horses suck. Maybe for you. I don't know.
In general, I think we can all agree on that. Anyway, please continue.
But like the game has just been like so interesting to like talk about with people and playing. Like the whole exploration's been fun. The being able to fuse items together, like we talked about previously in the last podcast, has been like just super, super awesome to just experiment and seeing like what works and what doesn't, and failing miserably when things don't go right, and just going, well, that happened. And then just reloading a save. And I'm just so surprised that there's just so many different ways that you can solve puzzles, and like the things that you can create will be so different from one player to the next, and or even through like your gameplays. Yeah, I'm surprised it's taken me this long to play the game, because it's just super, super wonderful, and I cannot wait to explore more. I really can't. I wish I could tell you where I'm currently at in Zelda, but I have no idea, because I'm not even following the main story quest right now. I'm just running around looking for Korok seeds, looking for like side quests to do.
Shrines to complete.
Exactly. So
that's cool. That's very cool. One of the things that I read recently is that you remember how they delayed Tears of the Kingdom by like 3 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I read that when they made that delay decision, the game was actually completely finished.
Right.
And that what they decided to do was take those last 3 months and literally just clean up the physics engine.
Mm-hmm.
So that way all of the like weird fusing stuff that you were doing would always work. There wouldn't be bugs in it. There wouldn't be any weirdness that happens. Things wouldn't behave in ways that you wouldn't expect. And so they just took 3 full months to make sure that this one feature of this Zelda game was actually like feature complete.
Right.
And I just want to give a huge shout out to Nintendo for letting them do that, because most companies would be like, no, we want our money now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think they were probably also like under a lot of pressure to develop a game that was like as good or even better than Breath of the Wild. And that was like already a very hard game to follow up on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm so happy with the way that this is going, like at least for my gameplay that I've gone through so far, that Tears of the Kingdom is just like so polished and just so well done. It is truly a good sequel to a game. It really is.
Yeah, awesome. I want to talk a little bit about Fortnite.
Oh, you're still playing Fortnite?
I'm still playing Fortnite. Fortnite just released a ranked mode.
Okay.
Where you go in with, it's only for duos. So it's just you and one other person. And I played it for the first time last night with Berserker. And the way that it works is you play your first game and it reveals what your rank is.
Oh.
And the reason that this is important is the ranks go like bronze 3, 2, 1, then silver 3, 2, 1, and all of that.
Sure.
When my brother played Fortnite, he ranked after his initial game silver 2.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I ranked silver 1, so I just need to rub that in his face. Big brother, big skills, big oof on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sucks to be you.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. But what's crazy about it is they're doing like an Attack on Titan thing right now. So you can do like, you get ODM gear and thunder spears and like you can zip all over the map. And then they had this Star Wars event that went for like 3 full months. So you would have like somebody with a lightsaber fighting someone who's using ODM gear. Right. And it's just like crazy, like ultimate showdown of ultimate, whatever. I just blanked on it. The Lemon Demon song. This is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. That's it. Where it's like everyone fighting everyone. Yeah. And then the Star Wars event finished and boom, they're right into a Spider-Verse event. And so now people are like zipping around dressed as Miles Morales, but still able to like wield ODM gear. It's absolutely insane what Fortnite has pulled off when it comes to like the crossovers that they're doing. And like Ganon plays Fortnite with an Ariana Grande skin on.
What? Oh, I know she did a concert. That makes sense now. I forgot that she like did the live event in Fortnite, but that's so that Ganon, of course, he would do something like that.
He's a legit Ariana Grande fan. I get it, right?
Yeah.
I am not, but I understand. Like, if you like somebody, you'll want it. Like Clay really wants the Michael B. Jordan skin. It's just not available in the store anymore, so you can't have it. I'm sorry, Clay. I know you want it. Ganon got it though, and he lords it over Clay every chance he gets. It's amazing.
That's wonderful. So for Fortnite, because you have all of these different types of mechanics that are being released relatively during the same time, what's the balance like? Like, is it pretty well balanced for everybody, or is it kind of like there are certain items that are definitely way better than others?
It's interesting because the balance changes throughout the season, right? Mm-hmm. The seasons in Fortnite are 3 months long, which seems like a long time, but they release these like micro updates throughout the season to keep it fresh.
Gotcha.
And so like ODM gear, one of the big things is that it's a mobility piece.
Right.
Well, prior to that, the king of mobility was a katana, which allowed you to like dash through the air up to 3 times, and then it would recharge. Great. When ODM gear came out, katanas were no longer good for mobility because the ODM gear was so much better. And so it
Mhm.
changed what you were looking for, like as you were
Oh.
going through a game.
Yeah.
Now that Spider-Man is here, there's web slingers. And so you can just like zip all over the place. And unlike the katana, it doesn't have a cooldown. There's no like limit, but it has ammo.
Right.
Because obviously, like it'll run out. And so it's a question of like, do you want the mobility and up close attack that the katana gives you? Do you want the better mobility but weaker attack that the ODM gear gives
Sure.
you, or the top tier mobility but no attack that a web slinger gives you?
Gotcha. Yes. You have to play around with all of those different options to see what's going to be best for you and whatever's out there. That's cool.
Exactly. And so everybody's got different preferences, but they all offer like a pro and a con to them. And so it's like, all right, well, this time I found a really good long range rifle. And so maybe it's going to change what else I pick up. It's going to change where my priorities are.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Do you have another one for this one, or should I talk about this very, very sad thing that happened to me?
Talk about the very sad thing, because I'm also sad about it.
Yeah. So, Storybook Brawl is dead.
RIP. R.I.P.
It is one of the first times that I have seen a game just straight up die. Not because like the game wasn't successful, but because their parent company, which was FTX, declared bankruptcy. And so when they declared bankruptcy, FTX has all of these different holdings, right? They've got like stocks and bonds and all of this stuff. And like $45 million worth of holdings is what FTX has. And somewhere in there is this little crumb of a game called Storybook Brawl. And what ended up happening is the government of Abu Dhabi straight up purchased all of FTX's holdings, like all of their assets. And so inside that is Storybook Brawl, this little no-name, nothing, like 9-person development company with this single game that they have that is still in beta called Storybook Brawl. And obviously, the government of Abu Dhabi doesn't give a shit about Storybook Brawl. And so they didn't have funding. And so they just had to basically shut the servers down because they didn't have money any longer.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
It's terrible.
That's
it's absolutely terrible.
I feel so bad for those developers because like they want their baby to succeed. They want them to have a growing community. And then all of a sudden, like they have no control over what is happening to their game, that their passion just dies.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
And it's crazy because back when they announced that they were getting bought by FTX, everyone was like, keep your NFTs out of our game.
Sure.
Like they got review bombed on Steam and all of that. And what killed them had nothing to do with actual crypto. It had to do with the fact that the owner of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, is just a scam artist. But what's interesting is I have found but we have Storybook Brawl at home game that I've been playing recently. It's called Runeverse. It's free on Steam. It's free on mobile. And there's like, I don't know, 100 people playing it total. So I've played 23 games and I am already like top 80 in the world or something like that, which is insane. But if you liked Storybook Brawl, try out Runeverse. It is fun. You'll play against a lot of bots. Whatever, that is what it is. But I'm playing Runeverse pretty much daily, and it's giving me that fix, which is
I was going to say it's probably scratching that itch. Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So review a game that you've completed recently, and would you recommend it to others?
Yeah, I finished playing Dredge not too long ago, and this is a game where like you're a little fishing ship and you're like trying to figure out like why you exist in this world, and you're trying to figure out like what's happening, and like you're fishing up, like as people are giving you quests, you're fishing up fish to sell so that way you can like get more upgrades for your ship in general, or you can dredge up like, different types of material to upgrade your ship as well. So there's a lot of like cool mechanics in the game where like you're just traveling around on a boat trying to like get from island to island to kind of like explore, find new fish. At night your ship, or the captain of the ship, kind of gets paranoid because he's like super afraid of the darkness of the ocean. So you have to like make sure that you are resting appropriately, otherwise like random things in the ocean will start attacking you.
Oh,
I
geez.
love this game. This game was just like so relaxing for me because like I wouldn't fish until dark time, like at nighttime. I would like wake up earlier before the sun would rise, and I would just like go out and fish and explore and like solve some of the puzzles that were out there. And it was just really fun. The only downside to this game was just that I played it within like 10 hours or something like that. And I just wanted more areas to explore. I wanted more content. But I really, really enjoyed it. And if people who love to fish would definitely love Dredge.
When
Definitely.
I heard that they were making a horror fishing game, I was like, what? How does that even work? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's cool to hear that they pulled it off. And honestly, of all of the problems that you could have, I want more is definitely the best problem a game could
Exactly.
have.
Yeah. And there are definitely multiple endings to the game, so you definitely want to like, try and see what happens in all of them. Fantastic game. Very interesting. Lots of cool stuff to explore and do, and yeah, try to figure out what the mystery is.
Very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. I recently finished a game called Shadows Over Loathing,
Nice.
which is a game by the creators of Kingdom of Loathing and West of Loathing, and it's essentially like a pulpy 1920s like Call of Cthulhu style
Mm,
uh, like RPG, but it's all completely tongue in cheek, right?
sure.
Like your uncle sends you a letter that says that he needs help, and when you show up, he's gone, and then you're like talking to the receptionist, and your bag catches fire because the stamp that he used on the letter he sent you is haunted, like that sort of
Yeah.
thing, right? And it was fun. I think it took me. It was not a very long game by any stretch of the imagination, but it was definitely a solid play. Let me see. How long did it take? Took me 26 hours to beat it, right?
Hmm.
So for an RPG, like pretty short. But
Yeah.
what's amazing about it was every single bit of it is like very funny.
Mm.
Like very, very funny. It also has multiple endings, I found out.
Nice.
Um, I don't want to spoil anything, but I punched a god to death. Um, so that's an option.
Cool.
Um, yeah, it's great. It is very, very, very funny. And it's one of those things where like I beat this game. I know there's a million different secrets and side quests and things like that that I just missed out on
Hmm.
because when you make one choice, it locks out other choices, that sort of thing.
Right.
So like looking at the Steam achievements, there are 37 of them, and I have gotten 8.
Whoa. In your first playthrough, would you play it again?
Yes, maybe. It's
Okay.
funny. It's funny enough that I could see playing it again.
Sure.
I would make very, very different choices, just so I
Yeah.
could see more content.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. So if you're the type of person who's like, I want to read a lot, there's no voice acting. The art is all stick figures.
I love
Um,
it.
but it's a delight. What else you got?
So Brody, when we were talking about like Devolver games, he mentioned this game called Piku Niku, which is like a very weird platformer. Like you play as like, and I'm gonna put in quotes, a beast, but you're literally just like a blob dude with legs. And you run around and you're trying to like figure out why this dude, like why there's this guy in a robot that's like taking all the materials from the world, and like you're trying to go and like talk to the villagers and figure out like why is he doing this, like we need to stop him, like this is not cool. The game is just like so bizarre and so weird that it's whimsical in a way, like you can't help but love like the music that's being played in the background. You can't help but like enjoy the witty conversations between like the villagers. You can also, and it's funny because like you because you're a dude with just 2 legs, you can literally just kick people and just kick things. So like I spent some time just kicking all the villagers around just to see what would happen. They would just like bounce around my screen.
This game, I'm looking at it on Steam. It looks adorable.
It's super cute. Yeah, the colors are really nice, and like again, the music's very cute, and the dialogue is just it's very silly. It's very, very silly. I love it. I liked it a lot.
Nice.
I think I've only played like 2 hours. Like I beat the whole game in 2 hours.
Okay.
And it was worth it. I was just like, this is super stupid.
I mean, it's a cheap game though. It's like a $13 game on Steam.
Yeah.
So that's not that crazy, right?
Mm-mm. Not at
You
all.
figure a AAA game that takes you 12 hours to beat, like the math lines up there.
Right.
So that's good. Would you recommend it to other people?
Oh yeah, if you like puzzle games and you like to explore a very interesting world, I definitely would recommend it. It's
cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff in there, and it's silly. Again, it's just silly.
Nice. Very nice. So the last game I want to review is a game called Tape to Tape, which I have played on stream. I have played off stream. I played a bunch of this game, and Tape to Tape is interesting because it is a hockey roguelike game that is currently in early access. So have you ever played NHL 94 like on the Sega Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Then you know how to play Tape to Tape. But the way that it works is the storyline is like, you're this guy who left his homeland to go play golf. And then you hear that your homeland, where the game is, the national pastime is hockey, is getting invaded and somebody's trying to take away hockey. So you got to go through all of these different hockey teams to get to the person who's trying to stop people from being able to play hockey.
Okay.
So you start and it's like, here, take this player who's like reasonably powerful, and then take these 3 bench warmers who have shit for stats. And then it's like a Slay the Spire style map where it's like, okay, do you want to go play against a team? That's like a battle. Do you want to have an event? Do you want to train your players? Like that sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so it's like, as you go, you'll earn new talents for your players where, like, for instance, one of my guys has this ability where he can shoot a slap shot off of one of the opposing team members' heads, basically knocking them out for like an extended period of time.
Yeah.
It's got kind of that like NFL blitz vibe to it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like, there's a character who has a disco ball, and when you trigger it, he'll start dancing, but so will any opposing players who are near him.
Oh, that's so goofy.
And so if they have the puck, they'll drop the puck and you can switch over to another player and grab the puck. Like that sort of fun stuff. It is difficult, but it is a delight to play.
Nice.
It's in early access right now on Steam. There was a Kickstarter about it. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dan and Gannon both kickstarted it. That's where I heard about it. It's fun. It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is also hard as hell, which is nice.
Yeah. I love a good hard game, especially when it comes to like roguelites. So
yeah,
it makes sense. I also love the like the actual art style of this because it kind of looks like a cartoon, but like when they're playing on the actual ice, it looks like real ice. Like if you were to watch like hockey like on TV, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's definitely a cool vibe that they've got going. Cool vibe.
Any cool hockey sellies?
I mean, there's a million different like references and that sort of thing. Forgive me, by what do you mean hockey sellies?
Oh, it's like celebrations. They call them sellies.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, they mostly just dance.
Oh, lame. Maybe in a different in a different patch.
Probably in the future, yes.
Cool.
But yeah, they mostly just dance. They do like a little wiggle with their arms side to side. You know, it's an audio podcast, so nobody got to see my little dance. But you know, just look in your head.
Yeah,
picture me dancing. That's it. First try.
I also love that there's like grapple hooks in this game too. Like,
oh, there's so many insane things. at some point you fight your sister and she's a princess and she plays on a team of princesses, but all they've been eating while they've been holed up in their castle is beans. So all of the princesses have farting powers. Like, there are insane power-ups in this game.
I'm in.
It's so good.
I'm so into this. That's hilarious.
It's so good. All right, it's time to talk about games we started but didn't finish because we didn't like them. I'm going to go first here because I want to talk about Meet Your Maker. Meet Your Maker is a game that came out for free as part of PlayStation Plus, but it's by the creators of Dead by Daylight. And basically, it's like a base building game where you build your base and then other people can come and raid it. And you go out and you try and raid other people's bases. But the problem with this game is that everything that hits you is a one-hit kill. And so you have to go through these bases like really, really slowly and check every floor and wall and ceiling and make sure that, like, did I get all of the traps? And if you die, you start over. So it's not like you lose anything, but it just means that it takes so long to get through somebody else's base because everything that hits you is a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
I would much prefer it if this was like a boomer shooter style game where it's like, all right, can you like tank these spikes while you're fighting this rocket launcher demon thing that's in the air and then get back out in enough time?
Sure.
It's just like, it was so close to being the type of game that I would like, but the pacing is just so off that I could not enjoy it.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. It sounded like it would be a really cool game in general. The idea is there. Yeah,
the concept was really, really awesome. I was very excited to try it out. I was like, this sounds exactly like my shit. And then it just was not.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That's a real bummer.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, so this is going to be controversial, but the game itself is already controversial, so who the fuck cares? I was playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I really enjoyed it for like the first 10 hours of the game because I was a new student at Hogwarts, and I really got to live the dream of being a witch at Hogwarts. I got to wear the cool apparel. I got to explore the castle. I got to go to classes, and it was very cool. I got to learn spells and whatever. But the moment that I left the castle and went to like Hogsmeade, like I was still cool about that because I was like, I get to go to Hogsmeade. I get to go through like the village and like see like all the different shops that like was also like in the books. Very cool. And then I explored more into like the world. And then I was finding myself getting really bored. Like I just didn't have that same feeling of excitement like when I was exploring the world because like I didn't really know what to expect. And I also was like, this is just something I don't want to experience. Like I don't care if I'm like in a field and I'm like trying to do like some sort of like Merlin trial. Like it just doesn't appeal to me. Like I want more Harry Potter in my Hogwarts Legacy. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Because it feels like it's just, you're just living in the world of Harry Potter. Like you're not getting the full, I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me as an open world game. It didn't have the same appeal like as I started exploring out.
I mean, it could be an open world game, but just have it all take place inside Hogwarts, you know?
Yeah.
Like what? Nobody is reminiscing about the field that they had the final battle in, you know, because it's not a set piece. The set piece was the plot point, right? Not like they were in a forest for like 40 days or whatever the end of the series was, right? Everybody's like, I want to be in Hogwarts. I want to be in Hogsmeade. I want to see the places that the Harry Potter story took place.
Absolutely.
And interact with that and the characters and all of that. Nobody's like, yeah, give me a bunch of original characters in the Harry Potter universe.
Right.
And more than that, nobody is like, give me no characters. And instead I just have a quest to go out into the forest and kill spiders.
Yeah.
So all of the like transphobic shit about J.K. Rowling and all of that aside, like, it seems like they fumbled that part a little bit.
I think a lot of people really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy because they got to live the life of like being a wizard. But like for me, And maybe it's because like I'm a different gamer compared to a lot of people who are buying the game because it's Harry Potter related, right? Where I'm just feeling like it's missing something, or it's just like it the events that happen outside of Hogwarts is kind of repetitive. Where I'm just like not interested. It's just it's not appealing. But for other people, like this could be, I don't know, cool for them. It just was not for me.
Yeah, I think it comes down to your experience with gaming, your love of the Harry Potter franchise. Like there's a bunch of different things that are going to affect whether or not the game holds up all the way through for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love Harry Potter. It's just that like this game didn't attract me.
Yeah, I get it. I watched Berserker play it all the way through, and he seemed to enjoy it most of the way. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you could tell there was a little bit of fatigue near the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I want to talk about a game called 20 Minutes Until Dawn.
Okay.
20 Minutes Until Dawn is a survivor-like, which is what I've chosen to call the new genre that has popped up, where it's basically Vampire Survivors. It's like an arena survival game, you know?
Yep.
But 20 Minutes Until Dawn is a lot like Vampire Survivors, except it is like much darker. It's one of those, like the color scheme is like black, gray, and red, essentially.
Yeah.
And unlike Vampire Survivors, you have to actually like aim and shoot a gun and that sort of thing.
That's a lot.
And I thought I was going to really enjoy it. And I played like, I don't know, 10 hours of it, which if you compare that to how much time I put into Vampire Survivors, it is not a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just don't want to go back to it.
Interesting.
I think part of it is I don't want to have to like think as much as that game makes me think. Their upgrades are all a lot more complicated than Vampire Survivors upgrades. Sure. Right? It's stuff like, because every character that you spawn in with starts with a gun or a weapon of some sort. So it could be a crossbow, a revolver, you know, a shotgun, that sort of thing. And then your upgrades are all like, your shotgun does this, or your crossbow now does this, right? So you have to actually like think about it. Right. It's not like Vampire Survivors where you like grab a weapon and then the upgrade is like weapon better, in all ways, weapon better. Like it's a very linear path. And so you have to like think about where you want your build to go and all of that. It's not nearly as relaxing, and it is also a lot more nail biting. So, yeah.
Because I feel like what you're describing is like you are now having to deal with directional crowd control more so than like in Vampire Survivor, where it's just like you're in this area and then there's like an area effect around you that's just like obliterating everything.
Yes, very much so. This is a lot more like kiting an entire crowd, killing the stuff that's in front of you. When you get a chance, shoot backwards, like make huge circles to grab XP, like that sort of thing. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying I'm done with it.
Sure. That's fair.
You know? I do want to take a special moment, because we're not going to ask the question, what's a game you didn't play at all? But Redfall is a game that I was very hyped about. I love Arcane Studios. I loved Deathloop. And then I saw reviews for Redfall, and I saw reviews for Redfall, and I saw gameplay of Redfall, and I saw all of these, and it just looks like such ass, and they drop balls so bad. Yeah. And I just am so disappointed about it.
Yeah, I totally feel you. I was ready to play it day one when it was like released on Xbox Game Pass, and for whatever reason, I didn't get to play it with like the rest of like with my husband and like our friends. But he was saying that like the multiplayer was just like super super weird and like glitchy, and there are there are some missions where you literally just go talk to some guy and give him something, and that was the mission. Like ta-da, you completed. And I was like, all right, like I didn't kill anybody, didn't see anything. And it's just like so disappointing because the way that they like advertised Redfall, it was like supposed to be like a Left 4 Dead killer, right? Like it's supposed to fill that void of like Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood with vampires. And it just wasn't it.
Yeah. I'm super disappointed in it.
Same.
All right, real quick, have you revisited any classic games or indulged in any retro gaming?
Yes, I played Knights of the Old Republic, and that game is dated. I want to play it so badly, but like it's just when I loaded it up on my computer, it was just like, man, what the hell am I looking at? Blocks? Those are blocks.
Yeah, that's fair. Was this your first time playing it?
It was. So I was kind of like disappointed because like I know that series is like a really good series in general. But it's just sad. It's very sad.
If you are playing it on PC, there are a bunch of mods that are out there. And I think that there is a graphical improvement mod that's out there, and it is worth checking that out because the game is a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to definitely look into that right now because I was just like so disappointed. Like I think I played an hour of it before I was like, I can't. It's too rough for me. Too rough around the edges.
Yeah. It is so good though. And it's the best D&D video game of all time, but we'll talk about that in a later episode. I recently have picked up Super Mario World because of the Mario episode that we did. It got me a little bit nostalgic, and I wanted to show Ange what it was all about. And then I also started playing some WarioWare on the Xbox Series S because I got that set up to do emulation. And it was the first game that I was like, let's see how this is going. And man, WarioWare rules.
So good.
So
good. What's your favorite mini game?
Oh, favorite mini game?
Yeah.
I am a big fan. One of the characters, I think their name is 9volt. All they have is just like a bunch of classic Nintendo games that they turned into mini games. And I'm not going to lie, I love all of those.
Mm-hmm.
They're all so good. Like, I think their boss thing is like legit Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. What about you?
I know that there's one WarioWare on like the 3DS where like you have to pluck the nose hair.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think that's really funny. I'm just like, what the fuck is this game plucking nose hair out of the nose?
Yeah. All right. So what's a recent release that you are dying to play, but you haven't had a chance yet?
We're going right back into Star Wars territory because I would love to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor, but I just like haven't pulled the trigger on it. Like I know that I would really enjoy it, but like I'm just not there.
Did you play the first one?
I did, and I loved the first one. The first one was like so good. It was like a mix of like puzzle, but also like it was a Souls-like game. So like I had a very difficult time playing the game. But overall, I just like really enjoyed like going to all the different planets because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, as I have like lightsabers like in my current background right now. So like anything Star Wars related, I'm just like so in.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about this game, but I didn't play the first one, and so I haven't played the second one yet. I definitely should. I think it's on Xbox Game Pass. Yes. I just haven't found the time.
Yeah. Oh man, the ending of that game too was just like, what is happening? This is great, but also super scary.
Amazing. What else?
And then also Darkest Dungeon 2. I've been watching a whole bunch of streamers play this game, and it looks so different from the original Darkest Dungeon because like now you're in a wagon and you're like going through like the town and going through like forests and like encountering like interesting things and people and different battles, and it looks very fun, but like I just want to beat Darkest Dungeon first before I play Darkest Dungeon 2.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. And then the last one I have is Roots of Pacha, which is like kind of is Stardew Valley a genre now? I don't even know, but it's a
farming sim game.
So Roots of Pacha is like also a farming sim game, but it kind of like does more than just farming sim. It's like life sim on top of like customization and decorating. And I played the demo of it when Steam was doing like their like indie demo showcase, and I really liked it. So if you're interested in like farming sims, life sims, like this game I've heard is like a good game in that genre, a really good game in that genre.
Nice. Very cool.
What about you?
For me, the only one that recently came out that I haven't played yet is Tears of the Kingdom. And Top Secret Confession Time, I've never beaten Breath of the Wild.
Whoa.
and I'm not sure if I should just skip Breath of the Wild or if I should go back and play it. And if I do decide to play it, it's been long enough that I feel like I need to start over. And so it's just like this specter of like,
Yeah.
like, what do I do here? And I am also worried that I will just have like the open world burnout
Sure.
that I get so frequently. So I've been like really on the fence about what to do about Tears of the Kingdom.
Right.
But everybody says that it's like a masterpiece. And so I don't know.
I think it's worthwhile to play to finish Breath of the Wild because it's, I mean, 10 out of 10 game, masterpiece game. Like it's one of those things where like you kind of have to sit through it and just play it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I need to actually spend the time with it. It's just tough because it's on the Switch and the Switch is like tiny in comparison to my hands. And so like I'll want to play it at my computer. And then when I'm on the computer, I'm like, but I could be playing Runeverse, which is a much worse game, or like Fortnite with people in the Discord, like playing multiplayer games with people,
so absolutely.
That's where I'm at. Have there been any recent updates or patches made for popular games that you want to call out? I will go first on this one because I want to talk about how Honkai Star Rail released a new character named Jin Yuan or Jing Yuan. And he kicks ass.
Yeah?
His whole deal is that he is a lightning character that deals like AoE damage.
Oh.
But he comes with a lightning god, a literal huge lightning god.
Like it follows him?
Like it's just behind him.
Okay.
And the lightning god shows up in turn order. Like, so it's like you have a fifth character, and all of Jing Yuan's abilities and attacks change how the lightning god reacts as well.
Interesting. Okay.
And then when the lightning god goes, he deals massive lightning damage to all of your opponents. And so he's just like insanely overpowered.
Yeah, super OP.
It's very cool. And along with that, they released a battle event where it's like a little bit roguelike-y.
Okay.
Where you like go in and you have the opportunity to earn these different power-ups that make you want to build your team differently. Which is kind of cool. And the enemies that you'll face are randomized in each of the different like featherweight, welterweight, heavyweight, like that sort of thing. And it was just like a cool little event that they threw in, which is impressive because the game only came out like a month ago. It is not an old game. And so the fact that they already are like, we're releasing new characters, we're releasing new events.
That's awesome.
And you didn't have to pay to get into this event. Like all pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially for a free-to-play game.
Absolutely. Nice. Are you still playing this game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not playing it nearly as much as like Ganon or Dan or Enigma or any of those guys, but yes, or Clay. God, Clay is like all in on this game. But yeah, I am still playing it.
Okay. Can I talk about Destiny fishing and why that's a thing?
It's the only reason we're doing this episode. I want to hear you talk about this, like, this insanity.
I don't. Okay, so Brody and I at one point were like joking about like, oh, like we love fishing games. But, like it'd be really funny. Like the only time that we'd ever go back to play Destiny if they actually put like fishing in it, and then they did. And so now you can go and you have to go through the story missions in order to unlock fishing.
Boo, but then you fishing can go immediately. Boo.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. But like this fishing is like a little tiny mini game in different zones of different places in the Destiny universe, right? And you sit there and you collect fish, and you are allowed to get like legendary exotic fishes or something like that, and they end up giving you like cool loot. Like it could be materials for crafting, or like you can get X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I just think it's like so bizarre that they put fishing into Destiny. Like it just doesn't make sense in my brain because like it's not like Destiny's not really an MMO, but it's like trying to be an MMO, but like it's kind of not at the same time. And like, why? I
Yeah.
still don't understand why. And then you can like take the fish that you have caught and then take it to the helm, and then you can put it into a giant like aquarium for you to like see later. And I just don't understand why they decided to make this a feature in their game.
I'm not going to lie. It sounds like they ripped a lot of this off from Warframe's fishing.
Really?
Yeah, which again, why does Warframe have fishing in it? I could not tell you. But when they, a couple years back, God, like 5 years at this point, introduced their first like open world area, they introduced with it hunting and fishing to like improve the like crafting stuff. So it's like you hunt these animals or you fish for animals, and it lets you like craft specific guns or armor or what have you. And part of that is in your ship, you could have a little aquarium that you put your favorite fish in, and there's like a fishing guild where you can like increase your rep and like all of this crazy stuff inside Warframe. And it sounds like Destiny was just like, yeah, that's cool, copy paste.
I mean, yeah, that's what it definitely seems like.
All right, cool.
It's I'm so flabbergasted by it.
Is the fishing good? Like from a gameplay perspective?
I mean, like I watched Josh do some fishing, and it's like it looks like any type of fishing that you would do inside of like games, you know, because it's a mini game, right? There's only like so many like what, less than 50 fish that you can catch, so it's not like there's a huge abundance of fish that you can go for.
Right. Is it the type where you see the shadows and you have to maneuver the lure, or is it the type where like this is a fishing spot, hit the button, when the controller shakes you hit the button again, you have fish?
Yes, that's pretty much it. There's like the lure will go under the water and a message will appear, and then you interact with that particular message, and it's like, oh, you got the catch if you catch it correctly. Which is like kind of boring.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's not anything special, but it's also like it's
Fair enough. What's interesting is I know that the latest season of Destiny is like all about going underwater.
Yes.
And so I'm surprised that the fishing wasn't literally just like shoot fish.
Right? That would be way more cool. Like if you had it as like a shooting arcade, like you're underwater and you just like harpoon a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
That would make way more sense, but
yeah. In Warframe, there is a character who literally has a harpoon, and she can use it to catch fish instead of having to use a fishing lure.
Oh,
so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
Yeah. The only other DLC I want to shout out is Wildermyth recently put out DLC that includes like new armor, new graphics, like that sort of thing. So if you like Wildermyth, like all of us at Super OK do, because we released a huge video series about it, go and check that out.
Yes, please do. We got to play more.
Cool. All right, super quick because we're running out of time here. Man, we just been chatting.
Yeah, crazy.
What is on your summer release calendar? What makes those games interesting enough that you want to play them?
Okay, Diablo 4 for obvious reasons, because me and Brody have already talked about it. We love Katamari Reroll because who doesn't love Katamari games? Let's be for real. And then lastly, Baldur's Gate, because that's been in early access for a really long time, and they're finally coming out with a release, and I can't wait to play Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
Wonderful.
This makes a lot of sense to me. The Wheel of Katamari Reroll, correct me if I'm wrong, but that includes like a new, because the Reroll already came out, but I think that there is a new like first time in the US thing that they're adding to it or something like that. So I am very excited about that as well. I am also stoked on Final Fantasy 16. It looks great. I am excited about Exoprimal. Anthem plus dinosaurs sounds pretty cool to me. I have been and remain ultra hyped about Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is finally coming out this summer. I am super hyped on it. And also Armored Core 6.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the old Armored Core games on like PS2. And so I am excited to check out the new version of it. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. it's time for a sponsored question.
Ayo.
And this one is sponsored by the Ghost of E3. Where will all of the vaporware go to generate hype and then never be heard from again? Won't someone please think of the vaporware? Anyway, in honor of games having summer-long goofy events that try to attract schoolless children, and the fact that Overwatch 2 just has that and also has a vaporware part totally wasn't intentional. Anyway, E3 wants us to come up with summer-long events for games that normally would not have one. Show me what you've got.
All right, here we go. Risk of Rain 2 Beach Party. So now you're going to be collecting beach-like items to attach to your body, and they all have different power-ups. So for instance, like you want an extra attack power, it's a shark that's going to be attached to your face. So now that you like attack people constantly. And then you can slather on some sunscreen to give you like heat resistance. Or you have an umbrella where you can just start deflecting attacks. I think that'd be really cool. And maybe some ice cream to like potentially slow down your enemies.
I love this.
Yeah.
I think this is a great idea.
And then you just have it all attached to your body, like as you're running around like in the world.
This is amazing. This is the perfect execution. Except I have a more perfect execution.
Ooh, tell me.
Dead by Daylight needs a killer summer beach event.
Oh
right?
my God.
Like a bunch of games out there have things where it's like, oh, Dead or Alive, like summer event, and everybody's in bikinis. I want like the hunter in a bikini. I want every one of the killers, I want them in a bikini. The thing that is just like a bunch of different hands that pulls people into it and eats them. Yeah. All of those hands have a little bikini on them.
I love it.
That's what I want.
I love that.
I also want the killers, though, because of the humiliation of being in a bikini, I want them to also have a bonus so they now can equip the new sunglasses charm. And that makes them immune to flashlights.
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
So
I think that'd be great. Could you imagine
Freddy Krueger in a bikini wearing sunglasses?
Michael Myers in a bikini wearing a mask, but then have sunglasses on his mask.
I was just thinking about Leatherface, but sunglasses over the mask. Like it reminds me of when I was a kid and I'd wear like Halloween costumes that had masks, and then I'd have to wear my glasses over them. And like my mom would punch holes to the side of the mask so that my glasses would stay out. I looked like a doofus for most Halloweens.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
I mean, man. That's great. This is
so good.
What about Pyramid Head? Like, how is he going to wear sunglasses?
Propped on top, just pointing upward
at the sky. That's great.
Yep. Absolute ridiculousness.
Can we make them like oversized sunglasses?
oh God, that's so much better. That's so much better. They're normal. They're where you think they would be, but they're just huge. Oh man, that is great. That is amazing. And also for all you Yoi fans out there, one of the killers is based on like a BTS style, like K-pop star. Boom, that guy, now he's in a bikini. Like
now, everybody's gonna love it.
People are gonna be about it. Yeah. Dead by Daylight devs, you get that one's for free, baby. That one's for free. All right, you got anything else that you want to talk about when it comes to summer?
No, I'm just super glad that it's going to be here soon, honestly. Yeah.
You and me both. I am super excited about it. Seriously, though, if you're going out during the summer, wear sunscreen. Fuck skin cancer. Also, fuck you, damn.
Ooh, nice.
Yep. You're the skin cancer of humans, I think it's safe to say. It's not like, it's not like one of the worst things, but it's up there.
Yeah. it can be treatable, but maybe not you.
I'm just kidding. Maybe not you. Perfect. All right. Well, then in that case, say goodbye. Oh, wait, no. Tell the people where you can be found.
Yeah, I can be found on Discord as Melephant. Easy.
I'm a 20-sided ninja. If you see in a 20-sided ninja, it's me. Unless you're in the Discord this week, because I still have my Kojima name there. So in the Discord, I am, what is it? Big Cancer, Lickable. Beagle, yes, thank you. Big Cancer Lickable Beagle. That's still my name.
Yeah, I forgot that I'm still the Tank Traps.
The tank traps is so freaking good. Yeah, we'll change those back when this releases, though. So by the time you're hearing this, I'll probably be a 20-sided ninja, unless I forget and just stay big cancer lickable beagle forever. No, I guarantee no one else has it.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Hope you have a super okay day. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Have a good summer. Bye.
Super bye.